Hello there YouTubers, this is a bit of a review and a bit of information about a repair to a Belarus 920. This is a friend of mine, Graham's, belongs to. This one is a 19, no it's not 19, it's a 2002 model. It's not had a great deal of use. It's I think it's got about 1100 hours on it. Graham's used it mainly for shifting bales and things, hence the front loader, and quite a lot of hedge trimming. So you can see he's got the old hedge trimmer on the back here. He's had I think it's a fairly good value for money tractor. There's a few little things go wrong with it, mainly electrical problems, which they seem to be known for. He's had a new alternator and a new starter motor, and the clutch has just been replaced, and you can tell he's done a lot of moving the bales around, because I think he had his money's worth out of that clutch. There's not a lot left to it, but you can't really complain because the cost of the parts is pretty good. The new clutch, and he had a new three-piece clutch kit and a new starter ring, all together came out just under £700 for the parts, so that's pretty good value. Things that he likes about the tractor for its money: the cab's very good. You know, with our sort of wonderful inclement weather we suffer in the UK, that's a big advantage. One of the features of these tractors is originally, back in the older ones, I think Graham had these tractors back in the 70s and 80s, you know, in the old Soviet era, they only had 12 volt electrics then, and obviously trying to crank a big diesel engine over on a 12 volt battery is probably a good idea out in Russia, when batteries were probably expensive and hard to get hold of in the Soviet Union. But the ones now do have two batteries, so you've got 24 volt for the starting, but they do tap off 12 volts for all the instrumentation, which is yeah, not a great idea. 24 volts is always better, but the old tractor's up and running now, so our next mission is to put it all back together. The problems we had with this tractor was he wouldn't start because there was no power to any of the instrumentation. It was well, I say there was no power there, it was intermittent, it was flicking on and off, and as you pulled the wiring loom around here, it would flick on and off. So initially I thought the problem was inside this multi-pole connector here, or its other bit there, so they've all been apart and had a good look at, and soldering and all that seems to be pretty good. Like I say, some of the problem with these, it was the reputation they've got is for electrical problems. The sort of quality of some of the parts are not quite up to sort of Western standards, if you like. Some of the wiring's a bit rather stiff cable, and the quality of some of the components is not the very best. The problem we had, like I say, the power was going on and off, and in the end I traced it down to these terminals here. They carry the 12 volt feed, if you like, from the battery at the back, and what sort of gave it away to me is that screw there was very rusty. I sort of fiddled around with that a bit more and realised that the state of the crimps and the screws were all pretty corroded, and obviously been getting a little bit warm because some of the insulation on the the sort of plastic sleeving was melting. So I've had it all apart, give it all a good clean with Scotch-Brite, put some new heat shrink on the crimps. This one here was a little tight, it was sort of coming in from the other side on that other crimp, which wasn't helping, wasn't allowing it to pinch down nicely, so I've extended the cable with a nice inline crimp, and notice I've used a proper crimper, not one of these little very cheap ones, but an actual ratchet crimper, which these days are not that expensive on the likes of Screwfix or Home Depot if you're in the States or wherever. So that's all cleaned up and sorted out, and it's now starting and running quite nicely without any bother. So the next thing we're going to do now is put it all together, put the crimps back the multi-pole connectors back where they should be, and once we've done that, we can put all the lever mechanism here, which is the mechanical stop for the engine. There's a bit of a laugh the other day once we got it started. We have to sort of pull all this around to get the engine to stop. So next stop, put it all together, and hopefully we'll show it to you running in a little while. Right then, moment of truth. Turn the ignition on, and you can see all the dials spring to life, and I'm holding the interlock on the gears over with my leg. And there we go, mission accomplished. One all starting and all running Belarus.